Okay guys, it's really hot in here. I don't know if it's because I'm nervous or because my oven was on and I made some asparagus, but I'm sweating. Okay. Hi everyone and welcome to Big City B. I'm B. Thank you so much for joining me. I've been wanting to start this channel for about 2 years, I think, is when I first got the website domain, so it's definitely been a while. So what I want to focus on this channel is what I love about New York City, where I like to eat, where I like to go, the things I like to see. Unfortunately, coronavirus is putting a little bit of a damper on that. So in the meantime, I'm going to do some videos about book reviews. For 2020, I wanted to get better at reading, so I've set a goal of reading 35 books this year. While I'm going through these books, I want to let you guys know what I think of them. Should you read them? I know sometimes it's a little difficult to kind of decide what book you want to read. So let's get started. Okay, so for the first book, The Starless Sea by Erin Morgenstern. So Erin has written 2 books so far. This is her second book. So let's start off with some of the basics for The Starless Sea. First of all, genre, fiction, fantasy. Okay, here's a quick little summary for you so you kind of get what the book is about. Far beneath the surface of the earth, upon the shores of the Starless Sea, there is a labyrinthine collection of tunnels and rooms filled with stories. The entryways that lead to this sanctuary are often hidden, sometimes on the forest floor, sometimes in private homes, sometimes in plain sight. But those who seek will find. Their doors have been waiting for them. Zachary Ezra Rollins is searching for his door, though he does not know it. He follows a silent siren song, an inexplicable knowledge that he is meant for another place. When he discovers a mysterious book in the stacks of his campus library, he begins to read. Entranced by tales of lovelorn pirates, lost cities, silent acolytes, suddenly, with the turn of a page, Zachary finds a story that is from his own childhood, impossibly written in a book that is older than he is. A bee, a key, and a sword, emblazoned on the book, lead to Zachary to 2 people who will change his life forever. So talking about some of the characters in the book, we obviously have Zachary Ezra Rollins. He is one of the 3 main characters. Then we have Max, who is also known as Mirabelle. And then we have Dorian, which is not his real name, but he picks it on the night he meets Zachary and he decides he likes it so much, so he just keeps it, I guess, forever. Then we have some side characters that I'll call track 2 characters. We have the keeper of the harbor on the Starless Sea, and then we have Allegra and Eleanor. They have stories that are also told within the book that Zachary finds, so I'll let you read about them and kind of get to know them a little bit more that way. I don't want to give out any spoilers quite yet. So what I liked about this book was, of course, the element of fantasy. Anything that has to do with magic, I'm just like, yes, yes, give me more, give me more. I wish that magic was real. Maybe it is real, just more prevalent in day-to-day life. Another thing that I liked was the mini story format. To take a line from Shrek, it's like an onion, and it has many layers, and you just have to peel back the onion to get to the middle of the story, or the heart of the story. And I liked it, and some people didn't like this because they felt that it was too slow to get into the actual action of the book. But if you think of the book as a collection of short stories, then I feel like it's much easier to stay involved until you get to Zachary's first-person perspective. Another thing that I liked is that Erin expanded a little bit on one of my favorite parts of the night circus. So in the night circus, Marco creates a room of boxes and jars, and when someone would open one of those boxes or jars, you would get the scent of the story, and it would then tell a story within your mind based on that scent. And so she's taken this and done it with taste, and she's made little candies. This isn't a spoiler. She's made little candies that you just pop in your mouth, and then you got a beautiful story. And I wish that was real. Who wouldn't just want to pop a candy and hear a story at any minute? The last thing that I really like about this book is more what I like about Erin Morgenstern's writing is that in her writing, I always feel so involved, and it's really easy for me to get lost in her world. And when I have to stop reading the book, it becomes an issue because I feel like I'm waking up from a dream and I'm a little bit disoriented of where I am upon stopping the book. And it definitely takes me a couple minutes to refocus and become in reality again, which is usually not an issue, but I was reading this book at work, so when I had to answer the phone, I would stop reading and then kind of forget about where I was. So then it would take me a minute and be like, oh, okay, crap, this is what I have to do. So on to things I didn't like about the book. So the one thing I really didn't like about the book was that it ended. I hated that it ended. I just wanted more story. And where it ends, there's obviously more story to go. So a question I have for this book, Erin, maybe, shout out, reply back to me. Is there going to be a sequel? She leaves it off in such a place where you know that the story is going to continue and expand more, and I fell in love with the Starless Sea and the harbor that I just want to know more. I also have a couple quotes from the book that I'd like to share with you that I really liked. The first one is, "Not all stories speak to all listeners, but all listeners can find a story that does, somewhere, sometime, in one form or another." I think this is an important quote because I think people get too bogged down if they don't like a story and it's automatically, oh, it's a terrible story, no one should read it, blah, blah, blah. Okay, just because you didn't like it doesn't mean that anyone else, or not anyone else, is gonna like it. So I think that's a good perspective to keep in mind on all of these reviews that I do. Just because I may or may not like it doesn't mean that you may or may not like it. And if the premises sounds intriguing, by all means, no matter what I say, go ahead and read it. Quote number 2, "Having a physical reaction to a lack of book is not unusual." Didn't I just talk about this? I felt like I was waking up from a dream when I had to stop. And when the book ended, I felt like a little bit of me had been ripped out. And I just felt a little lost and a little definitely sad. I felt sad that I was no longer with my friends that I had made over the course of reading this book, and yeah, I just always feel a little bit of a heartache when I've finished a book. Number 3, "But the world is strange, and endings are not truly endings no matter how the stars may wish it so." This is great, I think, in general, in life. If something seems like it's an ending, and it seems terrible, and seems like your life is over, it's not usually an ending. It's usually furthering the story, because we have more to live. Unless you're dying, and then who knows? Maybe that's a furthering of the story as well, because no one really knows what happens when you die. Ooh, okay, that got dark. I feel like there was another point I wanted to make about this book. Oh, that quote, that last quote, quote number 3, I think maybe a little hint into Erin writing a sequel to the Starless Sea. So fingers crossed that that's real, because I would love it. Finally. Would I recommend this book? Yes. Yes, I would recommend this book. Yes, 100 times I would recommend this book. I think it's fantastical. I like the elements of magic. I like the relationship building. I liked the kind of question of if our stories are decided by us or if they're predetermined in life. I think yes, I loved it. I think some people may say that it's slow to get into, which fine, I've already said. If you think of the book as a collection of short stories when you're getting started, then it's easier for you to keep focus as you're reading until you get into Zachary's storytelling. Some people may say that there's too much magic or it's unrealistic. Yeah, dudes, it's a fantasy book, okay? It's supposed to be magic. Let us have our magic. Okay, guys, well that wraps up my Starless Sea review. Make sure you check out down in the description where I have time points for the summary, what I thought of the book, and my recommendations. No spoilers in this review, so that was good. If you would please go ahead and click that like button if you liked it, and hit subscribe if you want to keep track of other books that I'm going to be reviewing, or when the coronavirus finally lets me out of my apartment, that I can go into the streets and show you what I like to eat, see, and do. do in New York. All right, guys, I will see you later. Bye.